This is me, Spoon Beast.
Hello everybody, Spood Beast back again with another video. But now, we are joined by a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am the Majora's Mask.
Many of you might recognize him as the one who won my logo contest a few years back. He made the famous Beast in a Car logo. He's also been the one giving me a few ideas as of the past week. So what we're going to be doing now is kind of a joint video. We're going to be talking about what we want to see or don't want to see in Super Smash Bros. 4. So without further ado, I guess we can start off with the name.
Yes, the Super Smash Bros. Title. I had a few suggestions, even though like before E3, it was gonna be like they had a rumor that it was gonna be called Super Smash Bros. Strife. I don't think that's actually real. So
yeah.
Some other names. I think that a few could be like Rage or my personal favorite, Super Smash Bros. Fury.
Yeah. Some other names that might be as catchy would be names like maybe Super Smash Bros. Clash. It kind of reminds me of Mario Clash for the Virtual Boy, but I think that's kind of a pretty clever name as well. Super Smash Bros. Like Rumble or Showdown. Those are kind of.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be a name that has a ring to it.
Yeah, like you know that it's about fighting. You know that would fit a fighting game, which is, I think Fury, which was Majora's Mask's pick, personify Smash Brothers the best. So out of all the names that we just went through, I think Fury is the most catchy. And you could see that being the title of other fighting games, like a Mortal Kombat Fury or Street Fighter Fury. It just kind of fits the overall. It's just catchy, really, for a fighting game.
A name that makes money.
Yeah, the name makes money. You're getting cash. So next up, I think we're at certain roster spots, are we not?
Yes, the characters that we want to see. Now, these are characters that we want that hasn't shown this game. A few of them could be like Geno from Super Mario RPG, or like Bowser Jr., or Paper Mario. Even the Skull Kid, or even Ridley. Why is that so hard to do? We don't know. Yeah, I can understand about Skull Kid because, Majora's Mask, as much as I love the game, isn't as, worldly popular as, say, Ocarina of Time. So,
yeah.
Of course, they probably won't have anything that represents, Majora's Mask. And a few others is like some new F-Zero characters like Black Shadow or Samurai Goro. Even though like Samurai Goro was an assist trophy, I'd actually like to see another character from F-Zero to make an appearance or an actual character from that franchise, and also some more female characters. Considering that there's the same number from Melee and Brawl, or Brawl from Melee, where unless you count Jigglypuff or one of the Ice Climber sisters.
Which really, that's just, it's a pair of siblings, and then Jigglypuff's like transgender, so you only have 3 major standalone female characters being Samus, Zelda, and Peach. Other than that, there's no real standalone female character for any Smash Brothers games, so it's just kind of weird. And in the first one, if you go all the way back to the first one, Samus was the only female character in the whole game, too, so...
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Like, the Zero Suit does not count as a second,
No, it's still the same character. So, yeah. What else they could do? Speaking of assist trophies that could possibly be turned into, actual characters, I would have really loved to have seen Little Mac in Brawl. I was kind of disappointed when he was made into an assist trophy. I think he'd make a perfect character for a fighting game.
Yeah, but this time actually make him bigger than his assist trophy, size.
Yeah.
He was pretty small on that.
Yeah, well, he was an assist trophy, but like to make him like an actual playable character, they're obviously gonna have to make him like at least as big as like Mario or Ness or somebody like that.
Yeah. Next thing is character corrections, such as no clones. Clones are very uncreative. Brawl had 3 of them, which was Fox, Falco, and Wolf, and Ganondorf, there was no excuse why they made him a clone again, because this time there was actually a Zelda game that actually it was 2, but they were copying it. This design was from Twilight Princess, and in that game he actually wielded a sword and used it.
Yeah.
And they kind of made a joke about that because it was a taunt. You know, like they were aware that people wanted him to have a sword, but say, oh, look at that, he pulls out a sword and he puts it back away.
Yeah, the thing about that is at least like Fox, Wolf, and Falco are all from the same series, so at least it kind of makes some sort of sense, like Mario and Luigi. But with Ganondorf and Captain Falcon being clones of each other, it makes no sense. They're not even from the same series. It's like, why did Ganondorf need a Captain Falcon moveset? It just doesn't make very much sense to me.
Well, my guess in Melee is the fact that he didn't have a sword, as the Ocarina of Time Ganon, and his body size and is very similar to Captain Falcon. So I guess at the time they thought it was a good idea, but like I said, there was no excuse in Brawl why he had the same moveset.
Years later, and there's just no excuse. Some possible third-party characters that would be nice. I think Mega Man's number one on a lot of people's list. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he would make a lot of sense. Although I wonder, well, no, he would play different Samus. Just kind of like, because both of them have an arm cannon. It just
That's like one whole move. All of his other moves could be way different.
Yeah.
So, and they could handle it differently too.
Also, about the characters, like the third-party characters, if when the new game comes out and they do have them, make it a surprise. Don't let us know that they're in there. Like, when we play the game and we unlock them, we didn't know they were in there, it would be a totally new experience. Like,
with Snake, the first trailer for Super Smash Bros. Brawl showed him in it. Right away, we knew he was going to be in the game the second the first trailer came out. With Sonic, he was announced on the dojo, which I think was a unique concept, and I wouldn't mind if they did it again. But could you imagine what people would have been like had he not been announced months before the game was done, and he was like the last character, these guys were the last characters people unlocked? They would like shit their pants, basically.
Especially in the story mode, Subspace Emissary, how they introduced them, which was really dumb. If we didn't know Sonic was in there and they introduced him like that, it would be a totally different reaction. But the fact that he only was in, like, he showed up at the very end, was just dumb.
Like, his reveal on the dojo website was way more impactful than his plot in the story mode of the game. So, yeah, but I'm sure that if they get any rights to third-party characters, I'm sure the first trailer, which I'm hoping we see by next year's E3, I'm sure they're probably going to show them anyway, so I guess we're kind of harping on nothing.
Yeah. I mean, knowing Nintendo, they'll probably do it the same way like Brawl. I mean, I don't really have too much hope that they'll make it the way we want it. So, I mean, but it's just good to hope and speculate. It's something fun.
And it gives me something to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how this whole thing started to begin with.
The next thing I guess we could talk about is just characters that we don't want. Spoodbeast, what would be your characters that you didn't want to see?
Well, it's just characters like Jigglypuff, Mr. Game & Watch, Ice Climbers, and Rob. They're very obscure.
Especially Rob. I mean, I don't have anything against Rob or anything.
Yeah.
I just, the fact that he was an accessory, it's like putting the Power Glove as a character.
I just found it really weird, and the fact that these four got in over characters that were much higher on Sakurai's poll is just kind of a little bit disappointing. Yeah, so instead of relying on these characters just to fill spots, why not design somebody who was actually asked to be in the game?
Yeah, think about it. Instead of Rob, he could have been Mega Man, or Jigglypuff. He could have been switched with another more popular character, Well, no offense to anyone who likes his characters.
Yeah, we mean no offense at all. It's just there were so many more options. Yeah, there's just so many more options, and the roster could have been handled way better than it did in Brawl. So we're hoping they don't make the same mistake.
You know what? For people who want them in there, you know what? You probably have. It's probably good hope for y'all because they're probably going to be in the game again. In Nintendo. So I mean, I guess y'all don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing is items. Speaking of Power Glove, I would actually like to see this as an item. Imagine, the characters put it on the arm and they become like twice as powerful. Hint the the Power Glove.
Then you'll be literally playing with power.
Yeah. and items. Like I want to see more. I would actually like to see the return of Final Smashes. Even though some were cheap, I still liked them. Some of them were, now of course I want the Final Smashes to be more epic, or better, and not have like some characters use the same Final Smash like the Ness and Lucas. I mean, it was a little different, but it's still the same. And Toon Link and Link, they had the exact same Final Smash.
Yeah, each character has to have a completely different Final Smash. Like we were talking about the Skull Kid earlier today, and we thought, wouldn't dropping the moon on the stage and killing everybody be one epic Final Smash for a game? I mean, thought it would be. Maybe
not like killing everyone, but like doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Just like, there was like I think it was Olimar.
Yes.
It's very hard to avoid getting hurt with his Final Smash.
It didn't
kind of like that.
It didn't necessarily kill everybody though.
Yeah,
it just damaged everybody.
Where he landed, yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean?
And I would like to see some more items from Metroid. Like there was only like one, like the screw attack, from what I remember. So I would like to see some more. I'm not exactly sure what, but some more from Metroid and Zelda and other games. That some really popular items. That's all I can really say about that.
They do a pretty decent job right now, but we just like to see a little bit more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, I swear Metroid's only representing item is the screw attack. Just like the only representing Metroid character is Samus.
Yeah. They could have the power bomb, like, from like Super Metroid or whatever, where it has that really huge explosion. Have like an item like that.
Yeah. I agree.
I guess the next thing is a better story. We can all agree that Subspace story it made no sense at all. Like they just created these new characters and villains that were dumb, out of nowhere just to make a story. I think what the story should have been was basically the bad guys versus good guys. Like the bad guys have a plot and they wanted to take. And when I say bad guys, I mean like Bowser, Ganon,
Wario,
all the big main villains from the the Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Sort of been all like on this big plan, and that you're the good guys and you have to stop them. And they shouldn't be teaming up with the good guy with the bad guys either. It should be just basically straightforward.
Yeah, that was pretty lame for the last game there.
Up, hugging. Yeah. But that's basically and have like nightmare for characters that won't be playable. Have like Nightmare from Kirby, King K. Rool. Well, I mean, King K. Rool could be a character, but
I seriously think he should be in the next game. Donkey Kong doesn't have any villains representing their series. He'd be a perfect addition to the fourth video game, the fourth in the series.
Yeah, just make the story better. Make it, simplify it, but make it kind of make sense. Yeah.
Like,
even though Mario's stories are very simple, they're still straightforward and they make sense. At least, but the Subspace made no sense at all. Well, I guess it made a little sense, but it's not enough to actually be a good story.
Yeah, it didn't hold together all that well. Like it was fun, but you play it once and then you never touch it again. You only play it to unlock all the characters anyway, so it's like okay.
Yeah, also if they have a story mode, don't be able to also for the characters. Have them be able to be have them harder to unlock, like Melee. Melee. Some of these characters took a long time to unlock, which was the thrill of working to get that character.
Yeah.
And Brawl, they were really easy, so there was no excitement for unlocking them. I guess another thing we can talk about is the return of boss battles.
Yeah, so this is going to have to fill in our last 2 minutes here, because that's how much we have before I go over YouTube's limit, so... As far as boss battles go, Master Hand's basically been that main boss for a long time now. We had Taboo in the last game, but I'd like to see boss battles that are legitimately from their games.
Yeah.
Like maybe incorporate some Bowser battles or Ridley battles like we've seen before into the game. Like just make them more related to each game from the series that it's representing. I don't know, that's just my idea on that.
And another thing is a better arcade. Melee was good, but Brawl, it kind of felt a little different than. I mean, arcade that just the first single player mode that you can play on Melee and Brawl. That it's not the story. It's just that one that you go from point A to point B until you get the match stand. I would like to make that one a little bit better. Make it kind of more like Melee, where it was actually kind of fun and random.
Yeah. So that's all we have time for today.
And one more thing. Better online.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna hold that off until next time because we could do a whole video on Smash Online. So yeah, better online. We'll get more into it next time. Peace out, everybody. Well, we'll talk to y'all later.
See ya.
Peace.